Before we begin, this story is shared with permission. Details have been altered to protect privacy. While it discusses difficult themes, the focus is on resilience and the incredible intuition of children. If you're in a similar situation, resources are linked below. You know that saying, kids notice everything? Well, my 8-year-old son proved it in the most heartbreaking and ultimately healing way possible. The clock blinked 11:47 p.m. as I pulled into our dark driveway. 12 hours on my feet at the hospital, and all I wanted was to kiss my sleeping 8-year-old and collapse into bed. But the second I saw the empty space where David's SUV should have been, that exhaustion turned to ice in my veins. No note on the fridge, no text. His work bag sat exactly where he'd dropped it that morning. Laptop still inside, lunch container unwashed. I checked my phone again, straight to voicemail on the 4th call. That's when I noticed the glow from Ethan's room. My sweet boy sat cross-legged on his bed in dinosaur pajamas, clutching something in his fist, way past his bedtime. "Mommy!" He launched himself at me, smelling like bubblegum toothpaste and little boy sweat. "Daddy said it's a secret trip, but I waited up 'cause you work late Fridays and—" I knelt down, hands on his shoulders. "What secret trip, baby?" He opened his palm, a crumpled gas station receipt. "Daddy dropped this when he packed his blue bag, the one he says is for fishing." His whisper was louder than his normal voice. "But he never takes me fishing." The receipt showed a fill-up at 7:23 p.m., 32 miles away, near the interstate. I almost dismissed it until I flipped the paper over. 3 words in looping feminine handwriting burned into my retinas. Lakeside Motel, tonight. Ethan's small finger pointed to the numbers. "That's not Daddy's writing. Is he helping someone?" My hands shook so badly the paper rattled. That's when our Alexa suddenly announced, "David's phone location updated, Lakeside Motor Inn." The timestamp showed 7:47 p.m., over 4 hours ago. I tucked Ethan into bed, smoothing his dinosaur blankets with hands that wouldn't stop shaking. "Get some sleep, baby," I whispered, but his eyes stayed wide open. "You're sad," he said, touching my cheek. "Your face gets crinkly like Grandma's Bible pages." The receipt burned in my pocket all the way to the kitchen. I poured coffee I didn't need and stared at David's abandoned work bag. His lunch container still held half a turkey sandwich, the kind I made every morning with the crusts cut off. That's when I noticed the smell. David's fishing gear duffel bag sat half-zippered by the garage door. Inside, a bottle of cologne I'd never smelled, musky, expensive. A receipt for Antonio's, that fancy Italian place he always said was too romantic for just us. A small velvet box containing a diamond tennis bracelet, sized for a child's wrist. My stomach lurched. Ethan's birthday wasn't for months. A small hand tugged my sleeve. Ethan stood there holding David's old tablet, his face pale. "I found Daddy's secret game," he whispered. The screen showed a text thread with a heart emoji contact name. "Room 214. I got the champagne." Sent 6:47 p.m. "Don't forget my present." Sent 7:12 p.m. The last message made my coffee come back up. "Tell the wife you're working late. Again." Ethan's chin quivered. "Is Daddy the bad guy in this game?" I reached for the tablet just as the garage door rumbled open. The garage door screeched shut again. Ethan immediately pulled the receipt from his waistband, now with greasy little fingerprints overlaying the motel address. "I made a plan," he announced, marching to the living room. What followed left me speechless. 1. The Alexa trick. "Call Grandma," he commanded. When my mother answered, he said calmly, "We need the secret code. Daddy's being mean again." 2. The hidden recordings. He showed me how he'd been activating David's old voice memo app during work calls, all 47 of them to the same number, since September. 3. The decoy tablet. "This one's fake," he whispered, pulling an identical-looking device from behind the couch. "The real one's in my Lego Death Star. The final gut punch? A video he'd taken last month. David laughing with a blonde woman at the park while Ethan played alone on the swings. The timestamp showed a Wednesday afternoon. Teacher conference day, Ethan said quietly. You were at work. I stared at my baby, our baby, who'd been quietly assembling evidence like a tiny detective. Why didn't you tell me? His answer shattered me. You always smile extra when Daddy's home. I didn't want the smiles to stop. Ethan's hands were still clutching mine when the idea hit me. Let's help Daddy tell the truth, I whispered. His eyes lit up like I'd suggested ice cream for dinner. We crafted the perfect text together. Power's out at home, staying at Mom's tonight. Sent at 9:03 p.m. on Friday, the exact time David's fishing trips always began. His reply came 28 seconds later. Perfect. Work running late anyway. Tell E I'll take him to the arcade Sunday. The location pin that popped up on our family tracker wasn't his office. It was the lakeside motel parking lot. Ethan clapped his hands. He fell for it. Then his face fell. But what if he gets mad? That's when the doorbell rang. Standing on our porch was Ms. Alvarez, Ethan's second-grade teacher, holding a folder. Ethan emailed me these screenshots 3 days ago, she said gently. I've been carrying them to my lawyer brother's office every night, just in case. Inside the folder, printed texts between David and heart emoji, the motel receipt, a handwritten note from Ethan. My dad lies. Please keep my mom safe. Ms. Alvarez squeezed my shoulder. My brother does family law. He's waiting for your call. Ethan tugged my sleeve. Can we do the thing now with the bags? At 3:17 a.m., we packed every single one of David's belongings into trash bags. Ethan insisted on including 1. The broken garage door remote, 2. A photo of them at the zoo, so he remembers he had a kid, 3. The velvet box with the bracelet, now containing Ethan's scribbled note, give this to your other kid. We lined them up on the lawn like soldiers. Then Ethan taped his final masterpiece to the front door, a crayon drawing of our family with David's face crossed out and a speech bubble. Gone fishing forever. Sunday at 11 a.m. David's SUV screeched into the driveway. Through the window, I watched his face cycle through. 1. Confusion at the bags. 2. Horror at the crayon drawing. 3. Rage when he shook the bracelet box. Ethan pressed his face to the glass. He looks like the Hulk when he's mad. David never even made it to the door. Because right then, 2 things happened. 1. Ms. Alvarez's brother, the lawyer, pulled up in his Audi 2. A police cruiser arrived, called by my mother, for possible trespassing. The cop took one look at the situation and said what we were all thinking. Sir, I suggest you take those bags and leave before this gets ugly. 1 month later, 3 things happened on the same day. 1. The divorce papers came through. 2. Ethan won his school's Integrity Star Award. 3. Miss Alvarez accidentally introduced me to her brother at the ceremony. As we ate celebratory ice cream that night, Ethan whispered, I like Mr. Jake better. He fixes things. He held up the garage door remote, now working perfectly. The last thing he said before falling asleep, You're smiling for real now, Mommy. Turns out the best detective wasn't a private investigator. He was a second grader with a Lego Death Star and a heart too big for this world. For another shocking family story, watch how one mom discovered her husband's double life through his Spotify playlists.